We have a senior Justice Department official. His name is Bruce Orr. He was demoted because of his ties with Fusion GPS. That, of course, the firm responsible for the dirty Russian anti-Trump dossier bought and paid for by Hillary and the DNC. And Sarah Carter reporting tonight that the House Intel Committee Chairman, Devin Nunes, is going to issue a subpoena for this demoted Justice Department official. Now, joining us now with more on this developing story from the Hill, John Solomon, investigative journalist Sarah Carter, Fox News legal analyst Greg Jarrett. We got to, Sarah, start with where we are here. And it's not just him. Rumors tonight running rampant of a major shakeup coming to the FBI, possibly as early as tomorrow.
Yeah, certainly that's right, Sean. That's what I've been hearing as well from my sources. We know now that Bruce Orr, as reported by James Rosen, he was demoted from Deputy Attorney General, and now he's facing a subpoena by the House Intelligence Committee, and that should be issued in the next couple of days. They are issuing that subpoena. It hasn't happened today yet. It's going through the process right now, so within the next day, possibly even as soon as tomorrow, they should have that subpoena issued. And now we're also looking at other developments. I mean, we know that Bruce Orr had met with Christopher Steele prior to the election, and then after the election, he met with Glenn Simpson, who is the owner of Fusion GPS, who, by the way, paid Christopher Steele with the money from the DNC and Hillary Clinton to fund the rest of the dossier, the salacious, unverified dossier. So right now, what the Intelligence Committee chairman wants to know is, why did he meet with him? What did they discuss? And why did he meet with Glenn Simpson? And what did they discuss after the election? This is really big news. They say this is big, big news, maybe even bigger than Peter Strzok.
All right. That's just all great points you're making. And by the way, also the talk of, well, what did Rod Rosenstein know? I'd like to know what he knew. I'd like to know what Comey knew. I'd like to know what Mueller knew ahead of all of this. You know, a lot of questions, John, being raised about, okay, this team that literally has covered for Hillary Clinton and put all these biased people going after Donald Trump, you know, what would it take to get rid of a special counsel?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's a high legal standard, right? You have to have one of three things usually. Misconduct. He has to have done something wrong in the investigation. A clear conflict of interest, and that's an area that could become very interesting in the next few weeks, or an abuse of power. It isn't just because people don't like the people he picked or the political sentiments of the people. To remove someone of that stature from this job, there has to be a very serious conflict, abuse of power, or misconduct. And to date, I don't think anything has emerged yet. There's a lot of concern about the people working for him.
Seems like we're getting very close, though.
Well, I think the conflict of interest thing is a thing we should watch. I think we're going to learn some new things in the next 2 weeks, Sean, that's going to raise questions on that front.
There are two conflicts of interest that could get Mueller fired. The first one is Mueller interviewed with the president for Comey's job.
The day before.
That's right. Then the next day he takes the job as special counsel. Think about that. Sitting across from the man who's posing questions, and Mueller is not telling the president. He's being dishonest and deceptive. And he's involved in the aftermath of the Comey firing, which is the subject of the special counsel investigation. That disqualifies him. It's mandatory under the law. The other is his close friendship, also a mandatory disqualification, his close friendship with Comey. Mueller has refused to resign or step aside. It's time that the Attorney General unrecuse himself, replace Mueller, and clean up this staff that is rife with political bias and corrupt motives.
Where are we, Sarah, on the issue of reports that Comey wanted to hire Christopher Steele? Did they pay Christopher Steele? And when you get to the whole dossier issue, the fact that Orr knew all of that, and he's 4 doors down from Rod Rosenstein?
Well, it's incredible, Sean. And right now, well, today we know one thing, that Nunes has been cleared by the Ethics Committee. So for 8 months, they've sidelined the chairman of the Intelligence Committee on one question. I've talked to sources up in Congress that said this was incredible. This would have never happened in the past. But those are the questions that they want answers to, and that's what they're seeking. So they will subpoena Bruce Orr. They will ask these questions. They have already presented those questions to the DOJ. We know the Inspector General is investigating this, and these are the questions that the American public wants answered, as well as me, as well as John, everybody else, you. So there has to be some answer coming from the FBI, and especially from FBI Director Wray.
Are the house of cards going to blow down?
I think so. And it's a shame, because there are so many highly qualified, experienced lawyers who don't have a political axe to grind that Robert Mueller could have selected. He did not do it. It was deliberate. It was by design. Instead, he stacked it with people with egregious political biases, people who, in one case, defended the Hillary Clinton Foundation, in another, defending her top IT aide. I mean, these are people who should be nowhere near this investigation of Clinton's opponent, Trump.
John, knowing all you know and what's likely coming, how bad does this get for Mueller?
You know, I think there's a very important question that hasn't been fully focused on about Peter Strzok, and that is he was in a counterintelligence position on two of the most important investigations of the last year, Trump and Clinton. Counterintelligence agents are the focus of foreign powers. He engaged in an affair, if the reports are true. What's the one way a foreign power compromises someone? Through sex and affairs? And then after it's revealed that he had an affair, and it was with a fellow FBI agent, the FBI department, which was talking about its integrity today, where did they put him? They put him in human resources, like he has some expertise on following the rules. It's amazing to me. I think there's more questions to be about whether he was in a compromised position because he had an affair.
It was epic at this hearing today. I mean, seriously, what the Republicans did is everything we've all been talking about. It's getting interesting. Thank you all.